And I thank God for that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what changed me. It made me realize, like, you never know what you got till it's gone. And when it's gone, there's nothing that you can do.
I need that somebody I can call my own. Are you that somebody? Boy, I gotta know. Are you that somebody? Boy, I gotta know. Somebody, 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 somebody. Are you that somebody? Somebody, 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 somebody. Are you that somebody? Boy, I gotta know.
It's your girl Key, and I'm back with a story time for y'all today. Into the video, I would like for y'all to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video. Y'all comment down below ideas that y'all want me to do, and hit that bell button or the subscribe button, and make sure that y'all do that so y'all can get a notification every time that I post something for y'all. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video. Now, before I start, I would like to say that this video is very personal to me, and it's something that I really don't talk about all the time. There's very few people that know like what happened and how everything went down. Not too many people do know. So with that being said, here y'all go. Now, I think this happened within my middle school year. I was in 7th and 8th grade because I did take Care Academy. If y'all do not know what that is, it's a class for people who would do 2 classes together to catch up to get back into their right grade. So I did my 7th and 8th grade year together, so that way I didn't have to do my full 8th grade year. I can just skip that and go straight to 9th grade. And it was pros and cons to that. Like, I did not go to my 8th grade dance. I did not participate in any of the 8th grade stuff as far as me doing that program. So this year, I think, I want to say it was during the summertime before school started. And I remember my mom calling me. I was at home. And she had called me and was like, you need to call your granny or something like that. I can't quite remember because it has been a while. But I want to say she told me that my dad was in a motorcycle accident and that he was in the hospital, and that I just needed to get in contact like with my granny or whatever. And I'm not going to lie, after she told me that, I was like stuck. I was frozen. I was like motorcycle accident, like as in like, is it something super serious, or like is it like, oh, he's fine, he's okay? But in my mind, like accident, I'm thinking, okay, he's hurt, you know? So I immediately like break down. I start breaking down, like I'm crying. I'm like, dang, like my dad, like, is he fine? So I think my mom had my auntie call me just to make sure that I was okay, because, you know, no, she's not knowing how I'm gonna take it, you know. So I'm like, yeah, like I'm cool, really knowing that I'm not, like I'm not okay with the situation. Dad's in a motorcycle, like how is that gonna be something that I can just take so lightly? And I'm young at the time. So I want to say I ended up going to go visit him at the hospital. Now, he fell into a coma. He went into a coma. He was in there for like a week. He had broken ribs. His skull was broken. He had to get like a plastic skull in his brain and all this stuff like that. It just like, it was a lot going on. It was a lot for me to take in myself. Like just seeing my dad like in the bed, he doesn't look the same. He's not talking, and like it's just like so much stuff, like, you know, like you can't, I would never picture myself looking at my dad like that in a bed, a hospital bed. So I'm like, what happened? Like, you know, just like what went on, you know? And so what happened was that night he was leaving from, I think like his girlfriend's house or something like that. And the thing is, it happened right by his house. So it's like, dang, like only if you stayed home, like only if you was not out at that time of night, you would have been fine, you know? So he's driving, and it wasn't his fault. He didn't hit anybody, but it was some girls in the car, and they had hit him, and he flew like off the motorcycle, like not just no regular trip over, like, you know, it was like he flew. So, you know, my granny gets this call like, is it your son's been in an accident, come down. So here he is in a coma in the hospital, you know? Like, for me, it's like, dang, like, how was, like, it's so much questions is going in my head at the time. Like, is he gonna make it? Like, what if I lose him? I can't lose my dad, you know, because I was a daddy's girl. Like, me and my dad was like, we had a bond, you know, like we weren't always together, but we still had that daddy and daughter to bond. Like, we was tight. And he was my twin. Like, me and my dad look just alike. Like, everybody says, like, they little kid, like, that's my dad, like, you know, like, I'm my dad's child. So, you know, just to see him in that predicament and to be in that predicament of questioning so much stuff, it really hurt me. Like, I'm like, you know, shoot, are you gonna be the same, you know? Like, how are you, what's gonna be like after this, you know? And honestly, at that time, I'm just like, I can't see my dad like this. Like, I can't, it hurts me to see him in so much pain. It hurts me to see that he can't talk, like he, you know, he can't move, like, and like, he can hear our voices, but like, dang, you can't talk to me. Like, I'm hurt for you. Like, it's not even about me in the situation, it's about you. And, you know, why did it have to happen to you? That's what I always wondered. Like, why did it have to happen to my dad? Out of all people, my dad. Not saying that I'm wishing on anybody else, but, you know, like, I'm thinking everything's doing good. You know what I'm saying? Everything's going fine. Then you get that call, your dad's in the hospital. How am I supposed to, I don't know. A week later went by. Around this time, it was August. I remember because my granny, she prayed so much. She prayed and was like, God, please let my son open his eyes for my birthday. That's all I want. Like, that's all I'm asking for, is for him to open up his eyes. And he did. He came out of that coma on my granny's birthday. And I was so blessed. I was so happy, because at that predicament, you fall into a coma. You don't know whether or not if they're going to survive, or, you know, it's just so much questions and so much things. And he opened his eyes, and I just thank God. I'm like, thank you, you know, for saving my daddy, for keeping my daddy here on this earth, you know, because he could have been gone at any moment, and he was here, you know. So he opened his eyes, and at this time, he's moving his little feet, you know, like, it's like reaction of, like, you know, him hearing us, you know, like, we'll be like, hey, Ken, if you can hear us, please move your feet, you know. He'd move his little feet or whatever like that. It's just like, and that little stuff made me happy, but I could not, after the first visit, I don't think I ever went back. I can say I visited him like 2 times, and it wasn't because, like, I didn't want to be there, which I did, but I just couldn't see my own father in that predicament. I couldn't, it took a toll on me personally. Like, I felt like I was falling into depression. I was sad for him. And I know I should have been there more than what I was, but it's just, I don't want to have that memory. I don't want to have the memory of him looking like that in my brain forever. I don't. So after that, he stayed in the hospital for a while, and eventually he went home. And when he went home, he had a trait in his throat. He had a hole right here. He couldn't really talk or anything like that. He would try, but it was hard to really understand what he was saying, and it was still kind of bad. You know, it wasn't like at the best state that it could have been. He wasn't in the best state. So we had to do, he couldn't walk. We had to do a whole bunch of stuff for him. Like as far as like feeding him. I remember he had tubes in his stomach that you'd have to like put up a little feeding bag for him. And we had to change him, bathe him, like basically start all over from like when you're a child, when you're a newborn. Like that's what it was for him. He had to start all the way over. Learn how to walk, learn how to talk, learn how to use his hands because he broke one of his arms and his legs, and it's just like it was a lot. It was a process for him to start all the way over. And I was there. I went to his house a couple times, you know, because I knew he wanted to see me. I knew that, you know, I couldn't just let my dad like go through all that without seeing me. So some days or some weekends I did go over there and I see him. I would spend the night, but I didn't go over there a lot. And now it is 2019 and my dad is back talking. He's back walking. I'm not gonna lie, for a minute he was walking around with the cane. But he passed that. Now he's walking without a cane. He's driving. He's doing just fine. And no, he's not the same person that he was before the accident. He cannot work. He cannot get a job. But he's still the same person to me at heart because he's still the hustler. He's still a hustler. He still hustles. Nothing stops him. He still has that determination in his mind. No matter what, even if he can't do it, he's going to make it a way to do it, you know? So I can honestly say in my heart that this was an experience for me, personally, myself, because I see how things can change so quickly, you know? One minute it can be like this, the next minute it can be something different, and you just got to adjust with that, you know? And this was my adjustment. This was my change in my life, you know? Like, to see that one minute somebody can really be here and they can be gone the next. And that could have been me, you know? I could have had lost somebody that I love to death. And I did it, and I thank God for that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what changed me. It made me realize, like, you never know what you got till it's gone. And when it's gone, there's nothing that you can do. So I enjoy every moment that I can with my dad while I can. So I won't live with no regrets, so that I don't take it upon blaming myself for anything, you know? So yeah. So with that being said, I am done with this video. I hope y'all enjoyed this story. In the beginning, like I said, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. And let me know what y'all want me to do for the next videos down below in the comment section. Now, before I go, you know I have to do my favorite dance. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah.
I need that somebody I can call my own.